Visit us at Eduvvo. Thank you for calling Eduvvo.
Otherwise, when you have installed the starter templates and you have installed a template in that, now let's just understand what exactly and how to use Elementor over here. So for that case, I'm just going to go to my WordPress dashboard and we're going to work from scratch on a very new page over here. So as you can see that we have multiple pages options here, like all pages and add new. So we are just going to create a add new page over here. Click onto that and this is going to lead you onto something like this. So you just need to close this dialog box and we just need to name this. So in order to name this, we just need to click on to, let's write learn Elementor. All right, whatever the page name you want, you can name this like about us, contact us, or like home, then like services, products, and so on. Whatever name you wanted to name a page, you can create in the same way, and you can create as multiple as pages you want. So now once you are done, you just need to publish the page first. Once you're done with that, just click onto the view page and let's see how it is. Now you can see that we do not have anything over here, just the page name up over here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create and we are going to understand the parts of Elementor, the blocks, the sections, and the elements with the help of the same page here. So how do we actually access the Elementor? So once you have created a page, you will find an option to edit the same with the Elementor plugin. So just click on to edit with Elementor and something like this user interface is going to open up. So this is what exactly Elementor is, and this is what I was talking about as a drag and drop builder over here. So now before getting started with any of these, we need to understand each and everything like the widgets, the elements, the sections, and the templates and so on. So in this lecture, we are going to talk about multiple things like what the sections are, what the blocks are, and what exactly the elements are. So first things first, this is the panel of Elementor. As you can see that we have multiple elements here. So all these things, whatever you see up over here, like inner section, heading, image, text editor, video, button, divider, spacer, Google map, icon, opt-in monster, forms, and so on. All these things are elements which are compatible with Elementor, and all of these things you are going to also get with the Pro version also. So now if I'm going to show it to you, all these more widgets which you can see below this basic ones are the Pro ones. So if you are planning to take Elementor Pro, then only these things are going to be enabled in that. But believe me, we do not need any of these as we have multiple things here. Like in the general also, all these are free of cost and you can use any of these widgets, or like you can also say elements over here. I personally say all these as widgets, not the elements. So you can either say it widget or like you can also either say it elements also. So now if you're going to see that we have site, these are the Pro versions here. We do not need that. WooCommerce, these are also the Pro versions here, which you get it with the help of the Pro Elementor. But we can do all these things and we can add all these functionalities with the free version over here too. But firstly, just understand that all these are the elements and we can drag and drop any of these over here on the screen and you can see the changes live over here. So first things first, you can see this option which is a plus sign which says add a new section. So now you can see that select your structure. So you have a single structure which only has one column. Then you have 2-column structure, 3-column structure, 4-column structure, and there are multiple more column structure which has slight changes in it. Let's say this 2 structure column has more space on the right column as compared to the left column over here, as so on. So you can use any of these columns up, whatever you want. So let's just quickly go and click onto the first basic one, which is the first column over here with a single column, the section. So you can see now you have a section here with a single column in it. So you just need to understand that you have different settings for the sections. So this blue part is for the section. You can click and edit the settings for that. And if you need to access the settings of this column, So then you need to click onto this gray column part icon here. So now you can see that you had different settings for this column and you had different setting for this section over here. Even if you are going to click onto this box sign here, box icon, you will again go to this element section here. So now what you can do is you can add any sort of things, like you can add the heading over here. You can also add the image just right below this, whatever it is, and so on. So now let's just see multiple things before moving on to the advanced part of that, as you need to understand the fundamentals and the basics of Elementor first. So here are the few settings which we need to discuss. So if you're going to go to this section up, you will see the 3 parts here. So these 3 parts mostly you're going to get also in your section, in your column, and also in your widget option also. There's a slight change that here you can see in the text part, you can see the content. Here in the image also you can see the content. But if you're going to click onto the layout, the section here, it is going to change from content to the layout, because it does not have to do anything with the content, and that is only the section and the column here. So now if you need to see the settings, that what exactly can we do from there, and the major setting which you need to know before to get started over here is, so let's just quickly add an image first here. You can see we can click on to directly on the image and the settings of the image will open up. So you can directly go and choose any image and click onto the image. Here you can use the free images also from the stock which is available here, all these images, or else you can go to the media library to see the existing images which comes with your starter templates. As you install any sort of templates, all these images also by default get installed in your WordPress site, or you can upload any of the files from your machine way, which is your desktop or your computer. So let's say we need to just directly add, let's go down. Let's say we need to add this image. So just click onto that image and we are going to click onto the open. Also guys, in the meanwhile it is uploading in this. I just wanted you guys to know that there is no difference when you're using Elementor like WordPress, either on your MacBook or either on your Windows PC, or like you're on your Windows desktop or your laptop. Everything is going to be the same. So now you can see that we have this image installed here. You can see that the dimension of this image is also written. If you're going to click onto the other images, you can again see the dimensions and the size of this media part over here too. So let's just quickly add this image here just for showing you up. So just select the image, whatever you wanted to add in your image section or the image element there, and just click onto the insert media. So now we can see that we have this option here, and you can click onto this arrow just to see it in a full space. So now we can see that this image and logo are completely aligned and we have specific spaces over here. So what if we need to stretch these things up, and if we need to make it from the left corner or maybe like the right corner? So in that case, there are few settings which you need to know before getting it started. So these major settings are, first is that you need to click onto the section, and here you can see the layout option. You can see that why exactly it is in a box format and it is leaving spaces on the left and the right too, because our setting over here in this section is basically in the box format. So in this content width, if you're going to make it as full width, and also if you're going to make it stretch, then I'm going to show you what's going to happen up. So first what we have done is we have just changed this box format to the full width. That means to full from left to right and so on. And then again we have just stretched this section up. So let's see what exactly we have done. So now we can see that this text has gone from the left and everything is from left to right. But now the image again is not from the left. It is still losing some of the space here. So now again what you need to do in that case, we have already done the setting, the basic setting for this section. Now we need to do the same setting for this column also. Now we can see this column option. Just click onto that and you have layout, you have style, and you have advanced. So now what we're going to do over here is, in the advanced section, we are just going to make the margins as 0 and the paddings as 0 too. So now you can see there is no space left on the top, neither on the bottom, and it is touching from left to right. Let's just quickly see it again. So now you can see that now there is the little space also which was there previously. Now it has also again vanished and nothing is there. That's one thing. But still you're going to find out that the image is not in a fully stretched format. So now guys, if you can totally notice that we have already done the setting for the section. You have already done the setting for this column, but we haven't done any setting for this image. Now we can see that the space is within this image here. So we also need to do settings in all of these three things. First, your section, your column, and your widget, whatever it is. So let's just click onto the image and let's go to the advanced and let's make the padding as 0. Let's go for 0, margin as 0. All right. So now we are going to ask that we have made everything as 0 over here and there should not be any space, but still why our image is not stretched? That is because when you add any shot of your image over here, you can see that you have a size of the image also. In order to make it stretch, after doing all these settings from full width to stretch and even removing the paddings from here, you just need to click onto the image or like your text icon or whatever it is, or any of your widget or element. Then just change the image size to maybe like full. So now you can see directly that your image is coming from left to right. So this is the one setting which you are going to get very frustrated with if you're very new to Elementor, and all these things needs to be cleared in the first phase before moving further in that go. So now what can be done next? So let's understand few more things. Now we have already made the content width as full width. So now the column gaps. So let's say if we were having two columns. So what you can do is, in order to make two columns, either you can click onto this plus sign and then again you can add the two columns over here like this, right? And then you can directly add the things and drag and drop wherever you want like this. Or what you can do is, you can remove this and you can directly duplicate this one up. By right clicking onto it, you just need to click on this with the right click from your mouse or from your trackpad and then just click on to duplicate. Once done, you can see that this is how it is looking right now. So now if you need to go and check the other settings, just go and click onto this edit section icon and you're going to see the column gaps here. So it is on the default page right now. So you can see that you have multiple options like extended and then you have narrow and so on, whatever it is. So all these things you're going to have as settings over here. So in order to have the column sections, you can use any of these. I'm going to go forward with the by default one because we have already done the setting with the content width and all. Second is the height. So it can be like fit to screen or the minimum height, whatever you want. You can try the multiple combinations in that. Vertical alignment is default. You can see there are multiple alignments. So these things need to be done when you have done with the padding part here. So since we have everything as 0, so it won't show you any sort of difference over here. But you can try by doing it by yourself, by adding padding and by just using and doing it multiple things up like fit to screen, minimum height, vertical align and so on. So now here is the tag, HTML tag. So HTML tag, what exactly it is? When we create any of the website, there are multiple contexts in that. That means we have the heading, we have the paragraphs also, we have the footer, we have header and so on. So you can assign any of these section as any of these tags. This is just for optimizing your website, just to make it more visible onto the Google, which is also known as search engine optimization for it. You're not going to be needing that for it over here, as we are just going to see how to design the website effectively and more beautifully over here. So now the structure, you can see that we have structure, as you already have seen it over here too, that we have multiple structure phases too. So in the same way, you can also use this structure format and then you can use it something like this, or 50% also. Now if you wanted to use it manually, so in that case you just need to drag your cursor in the middle, and you're going to see this sign, this cursor become this stretchable sign here. So just click and you can drag it wherever you want, just to make it go from left to right. And this is how you can add the sections. So now you're going to ask that what exactly is the need to do that, and why we are going to be needing to stretch these sections. So in that case, let's suppose we wanted to display multiple images here, and we need to make a masonry grid here, which consists of like multiple images. So now we can see that we have two images. Now we can change the image here. Let's go on with maybe like this one. So now we can see that we can now optimize how the images are going to look like this, or you can make it totally aligned. So now guys, you can see that we have space in between over here. That is because of the space which we have in default, right? And also if you're going to click onto this column, you will find an option in the layout, the first part over here, that space between the widgets. You can see the widget spacing over here. It is 20 by default. You can see that. If you need to remove this space, just make it as 0 as default. So this is how you can use it in a full pace. So now guys, once you're done with this, you can again now use it or like optimize it like this, and this is how it is going to look like. So you just need to do a lot of experiments in that. We are not designing right now, we are just understanding all these functionalities and so on. Even guys, you can do the alignment for that. If you have multiple spacing part over there, let's suppose we need to align this thing. So you just need to go to the alignment, and you just need to use this feature over here, left, right, center, and justified, like this. So now guys, we have multiple more things. Let's suppose if you need to add any link on this. So let's suppose if you want, if someone clicks onto this text and they should go into another website or like another page, so you can add any of the URL here. So let's suppose I want people to land on this home page after clicking onto this text. So let's say click here to visit the home page. So now what is going to happen over here is it is going to be used as a hyperlink. So let's click onto this preview changes here, and let's first update this, otherwise we won't be able to see the changes on the live one. So click onto the preview, and it is going to be opened in a new page here. So now you can see how the page is looking and what we have made so far. So here there is no link in this text up. You can see we cannot click and go anywhere, neither on these images. But if you're going to click onto this text up over here, you will be redirected to the home page. So this is what the feature is, to add a link into any of these elements. Same thing you can also do with this image, and then here in the link section you can add a custom URL. You can click onto that. Once done, click onto the update and go to the updated page. Now you can see these two images are non-clickable, and this will lead you to the home page of your website. So that's one thing. So now apart from that, we have done the alignment and so on. If you need to add any caption, you can add a caption. So let's say attachment caption here, or you can add a custom caption also. You can write your caption. Your caption will be shown here like this. All right guys, so once done, this is how you can optimize the things up and make multiple changes. Now if you're going to go to the style part, so the style part always has to do with the size, the colors, the other elements, the opacity, and so on. So let's say you need to change the size of this image, so you can directly increase the width from left to right. You can go back to the content to align this like this. Even you can make it like with maximum height. You can make it stretch it like this too. So I'm just going to use it by default like this, however you want it to add. So once done, here you have the object fit, which basically says the fill, the cover, and so on. So that's not going to be applied over here. If I'm going to show it to you over here like this, so this is how it is going to be shown. You can see this. So this is just the margin which you have set, and if you want something to cover up in that, so it is going to show up like this. But if you want to fill or like fit to default, so it is going to be for the default part here. So but then you just need to make the settings accordingly on that. Once done, here we have the opacity, that how much opacity you want for the image or for the object of that. It's a very good option to just use it to add multiple elements on one view like the another. Now we have the border type, so you can add a border also in that. So let's say once you click onto the border, you can add the width. I'm going to add 10, and I'm going to change the color to like black, just to show it to you over here. Once done, you can again go with opacity. So this is how your section for your border will go up. Once done, you can also use it by like the double lines here for the border, the dotted borders also you can use. There are multiple things which you can use. You can just directly experiment with any of these. All of these features like totally free of cost, and are included in the free version of Elementor. I myself also over here is using the free version of Elementor just to show you up over here. So now let's say guys, you need to just add a shadow behind that. So here you have the box shadow. You can use the shadow. You can see the slight shadows has appear over here. So you can add these things up. Let's say we can increase the blurriness for that. Even you can change the opacity for it too by clicking over here. You can change the colors also of that. So let's say we want this color to pop up. So all these things are like totally possible here, and you can use it up over here. So now if you're going to go apart from that to the advanced section, we have the margins and the paddings. So paddings are simply like how much space you want from where to where. So if you want some space on the top, you just need to add it on the top here. On the right, if you need some space, you can add it over there. If you need some space on the bottom, you can add that. So you can see that it has already been extended. Now on the left, if you want, you can add that over here. And also guys, what you can do is, instead of adding these manually, you can link all these values and you can start increasing or decreasing the values just to see how much effect it is going to make on that. So now this is the width, so you can use the full width here, like inline, auto, custom. I'm just going to go with the default. I would suggest only go forward with the padding and the margins, and always use the default width over here. That's why that's how you can be able to optimize and make the most out of the free version of this element over here. So now if you're going to see the position, we have absolute and fixed. We are going to come onto this section later on, as this is one of the very good feature which I totally also use in that case. So I'll tell you that later on. We just need to know the basics of that right now. So once we know how exactly and what exactly these things are and how you can use it, this sums up with the fundamentals of the Elementor. And now we can jump on to the next lectures over there. So see you guys in the next lecture. Take care.